You are listening to Framing the Future podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
What do you like more about Istanbul, about architecture?
I think there's so much history. I do want to, I haven't had the chance to explore as a tourist because I came when I was too little.
14.
But I do want to go back, hopefully for a graduation trip.
Nice.
Because I think there's a lot of history. There's a lot of languages. There's a lot of just architecture and creative people. I think it will be amazing to just try for a couple months.
For a couple of months, and yes, and the architecture there is so different from here. Like you say, it's an ancient city.
Yeah.
This episode is sponsored by the Stones and More Group, your go-to destination for premium surfaces and a leading wholesale distributor with over 2 decades providing top-quality porcelain, ceramic, slabs, mosaics, panels, and building materials, crafted to transform any space. To learn more, visit our website at mosaics.com and explore our full range of premium products.
Welcome to another episode of Framing the Future podcast. I'm your host, Ana Paula Leal, and today we're diving into the story of resilience and creativity. Joining us is Ecem, an undergraduate architectural student completing her master's degree at FIU. Ecem brings a unique perspective shaped by her personal journey. Originally from Turkey, she moved to the US 9 years ago with her brother and sister-in-law, embarking on a challenging path filled with cultural and language barriers. Despite these obstacles, Ecem has forged her own path in architecture, embracing the opportunities at Florida International University to grow as a designer and as a person. Today, she's here to share the inspiring story of her perseverance, her experience as an architect student, and the perspective through which she views the built environment. Let's get started. Welcome, Ecem, to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here. And we had the opportunity to talk before, and all your journey from when you grew up in Turkey, when you came here to United States. So what got you inspired to study architecture? And I know you had a really good influence from your dad, who is a civil engineer.
Yeah.
So how everything started?
Well, back home in Turkey, he used to do a lot of projects for the city. And growing up, my mom didn't really like me
going to the side jobs.
Yes. But that was the safest place because I was next to him.
Yes.
So I used to bike around or sit around and just look at people working and interact with people. And that was really interesting for me because I never had
you never had that. And how old were you when?
I think it started 4 or 5.
That was
so
young, 4 or 5 years old. And what's the best memory that you have from going to the site visits?
I think it's the biking.
I
really loved biking.
So you will bike around the construction site?
Yeah. I had a bike, and I guess I was the only kid I allowed there, so that was pretty cool. And
so that's amazing because here, if you see a kid biking, you get sued automatically. So, well, that's really nice. And why architecture? So, because civil engineering they focus a lot on, structural. So how, as you came to, okay, I want to start architecture?
I think so. It just was more of seeing the process and I guess being interested on it and talking to my parents and my family. It just was something that I should have be doing.
And what did your dad said when you said, okay, I want to start architecture?
Well, because he's a civil engineer, they don't really get along with a lot of architects.
Oh, wow. So I know there is kind of like a dispute.
So he still makes fun of it, but that's fine.
When are you at some point, do you maybe plan to work with your dad?
He's too old.
But I'm sure he helps you from time to time.
It's very, very hard because it's very old version that they would do back in the days. A lot different than what we do right now.
Yeah, that's true. So they have probably their own way of they stick to the old way to do things. Yeah. So you moved from Turkey 9 years ago.
Yes.
How was that transition? Who you came with? How was that experience?
Well, my brother was already here, so it was more of me moving for high school.
Yeah.
And when I first moved, it was hard for me because I needed to get to live in with my brother, my sister-in-law, my cousin, and I didn't really know them beforehand, so that was pretty scary for me.
Your cousins too?
Yes.
Nice.
So we were like 4 of us together.
Wow. Okay.
Until recently that we all moved out, but yeah, back then it was kind of hard because I didn't really speak English and didn't really know anything, and I'm coming for the first time and don't know what's gonna
Yes.
happen.
And you had also to leave your, I guess, like your mom in Turkey,
Yeah.
your dad,
Yeah.
and how old were you? You were like
I was 14.
14
Yeah.
years old. That's 14 years old. You're still like a baby
child.
You need your mom, your parents around,
Yes.
and but your mom could
Yeah.
is here now.
Yeah, she's here now.
So
She was
that's
traveling
great.
back and forth,
Yeah.
but eventually she ended up staying here, which
Nice.
was really good.
Nice, yes.
Helpful.
And so then in high school you start taking classes.
Yeah. Well, for first year I started in Coral Gables, and it was they actually had a couple classes for technical design, but it was more hand sketches.
Yeah.
So that's what we did for the first year, and then I moved to Pinecrest, and in there they do have again some technical design classes, but that's on CAD. So they started teaching us CAD and getting the license, which was really good because
Nice. Yeah.
I didn't think I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. And bueno, I didn't pass high school here, but I know you can take classes that are already focused on the career that you want.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. That's great that you could take CAD classes, and CAD as Revit is something that we're gonna use for the rest of our lives. And you also teach. You also teach a CAD or design
back then, yeah.
back then.
Yes.
Yes.
That was like a class, like with TA, something on the
TA.
side.
Nice.
Yeah, but it wasn't really anything crazy.
No, but that's good because I think the best way to also learn more is to teach others.
Yeah,
So you put in practice what you learn. And well, the transition maybe from from high school to FIU, it was easier because you already knew, you already had a background in all those softwares.
Yes.
And you started at FIU since the first
the beginning.
designs. Yes. That's great. And how's that? Because I transfer.
Oh, you did transfer.
I transfer, but I wish I could have started at FIU since design one. I think it's super fun. You do so many things like the
walk on water.
Walk in water. And
it.
also you have to design it like a dominoes.
Yeah.
I saw that you did that in with which is the professor that
for Cannabis.
Oh, Cannabis.
Yes.
I heard that Cannabis keeps all the dominoes.
Yes, he collects them.
He collects them.
Takes them away.
I hope he don't sell them. He'll have to give like commission to all the students. So how was that process? That
I mean, for us, I think it was a bit more special, like for our year level, because it was during COVID. It was right after the school was closed, and it was just opening for the first time. So we did start as 100-something people.
Yes,
and we dropped to 45, I think.
Wow.
The first year.
So many people dropped.
Yeah, because they didn't want to do school in COVID and being online. They just didn't feel inspired.
It was hard.
And starting off, you do need in-person experience, especially in architecture.
And I think, architecture is very visual, it's very manual.
Yes.
So I got caught, like, I got caught, I was in design, like, I think 7 or 6. Well, design 6 when COVID started. It was a whole year, and it was not the best experience because you wish you were at the studio, you miss that connection with other people.
Yes,
and
totally.
you at the studio, you get very creative around your peers. So how do you handle that difficult time? What kept you like going and very like faithful?
Like we had some classes in person, so that was pretty helpful for us. At least we really put the effort to talk to each other and be there in person and hang out, just drive around, because we couldn't really go anywhere neither. but it was a lot of just driving around and talking to people. And now we're super close to each other, like that 40 people or 45, whatever people that we started with. We're really like sisters and brothers because we've been together
since design
since
one.
design one. As
And
a
when you
small
see
group.
someone go, it's like, no, don't do it. Don't go.
Yeah.
Because when I transferred to in design 5, there's a lot of people that will, like because of family situation or personal difficulties, they have to, maybe take one semester off, and you wish that everyone graduates at the same time.
I agree.
Yeah. And what is one of the most challenging projects you have work on?
I think, like we mentioned, walk on water, not the most
Okay.
challenging, but maybe also most challenging, because you do need to have some
Skill.
skill to actually be able to walk.
Like very fit, go to the gym.
Yeah. For our year, the person that won, Jack Pearson, he practiced every day
Every
for
day?
multiple
In the lake?
hours.
In
In the lake.
Wow.
Multiple hours a day.
That's
So it made sense for him to win, and at that point,
of
it's like
course.
practice.
Yeah. So like you could see that he would practice more than other other
for
people.
sure.
I think it takes more like the skill and the balance than actually building the you can build the best more
stable
shoes, but if you don't have that practice, it's like a sport. I would say so.
Yes.
Nice. Will you do it again?
I would definitely do it again this year.
Will you practice?
Yeah, I really wanted it.
Nice.
This year, it just happened like a couple weeks ago. Some people just they just couldn't walk, and it's harder for some.
Yes.
So we walked up to them like, "Do you want us to walk for you, please?"
Can you do that?
Yes, you can do that.
Oh,
If they can't cross,
wow.
and you can cross for them.
Oh wow, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's better for someone to cross with the shoe, I think, as I understand, than for them to swim.
Okay,
that was good.
That was nice. And another project that you really grew with, the tissue, that show you, like what you like, what you don't like about architecture, what you would like to focus more.
I think the one that I showed you, the one that we did again with the same person, Jack Pierce.
Yes.
We did a canyon project. We kind of dug a hole in the canyon and made it a house.
Nice.
So I think that was pretty tense. It was full online class, and pretty hard to get yourself going when the class is not in person all the time. So that was pretty hard to focus on the work.
Oh, and that same project, you submitted it to to the competition.
Yes.
And you got mentioned for it. So how important has been participating in competitions for you?
No, it's been because that actually helped us to get something. I've been really interested to just submit more. It takes time. It takes a lot of, putting together what they need. But I think it's gonna pay off. Hopefully.
No, of course. I had the chance to interview Renzo, who is actually he graduated and he's teaching now at FIU, and he says how important competition has been for him, and the way that you're doing competition right now is adapting. Can you explain more of? It's not from something you don't create something brand new like a new design. You adapt yours to their needs of the competitions. How's that process?
Well, for our classes, because we're given the concept and the program and everything, it's hard for us to find an exact competition that aligns with us.
Yeah.
So we would need to find something that's close enough, and change some of the portions of it, maybe the text even.
And for example, for the one you do with Jack, right? Jack's. How what were the things that you had to change or adapt to the new concept of the?
Well, we actually didn't. We actually just submitted that one as it
Nice.
is, just to see what would happen, because that was, I guess, the first one that we did. Just to see what we'd come up with it. And we did get like a special mention, which was good enough for us, that now we know that we can do it, and we'll just hopefully continue to do it.
Are you doing any new one right now?
Yeah, we submitted a couple of them this couple months ago, and just still waiting for the results.
But what was the concept? What do you had to work on?
We did another house in Japan, so we submitted that one. That's with the study
With
abroad.
the study abroad, that we have to talk about that.
Yes,
Nice.
we did that one just recently, and hoping to submit this one, the one that we're working on for comp, which I think is going to be also
I
good.
saw the project, and
Yeah.
what is it? The site the location of the?
It's in New York.
In New York.
Yeah. So we did have a trip to New York.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was good.
So I know FIU right now after COVID, they have opened the doors for study abroad.
Yeah.
So how important has been how it has impact the way you see the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I first started, I really wanted to do study abroad, but I wasn't sure how much you can do. But you can actually do 2 semesters in a row, and that would be good enough for you, I think.
Great. Yeah.
So we did Japan last summer, and we just did Europe. I think it's been really helpful because we're traveling with the people that know the country. Like for Europe, we traveled with Thomas, and he's a professor from FIU, and he's German, and he knows a lot about
Yeah.
the culture, the history, and he had a lot of nice input for us, and that was really helpful.
And so for that trip to Europe, you did something pretty cool.
Yes.
You backpack with your friends for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Amazing. So how was that? And is that every one of you had a country?
Yes.
A day? So
yeah, that was really cool. Before we went, we did a little Excel sheet with everyone's list of days that they were gonna
Nice.
hang out, and they needed to plan. Yeah, we ended up doing a couple countries, and it just paid off, honestly, because we have been telling ourselves that once we start, the real world,
we won't have time for that. That's good, and it's the same, and I thought I would have never, like travel after work, but actually you do have time. But
Yeah.
school is amazing because you're in that cusp of creativity and looking for inspiration. So traveling really helps shape that vision. And so your travel to Japan, because I have heard that is a completely different culture from what we know here in the Eastern world. So how's that to the Western? West.
It was really interesting. I mean, they're super. It's I guess quiet. Like it's a lot more calmer, and it's a lot more. Like we were talking earlier too. What you said is about them just going
with.
How would you say
the
that?
flow.
Yeah, I guess.
Just going with life.
Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like they're very busy, so everything was packed all the time. But I mean, it was an amazing.
What project? What design studio?
That was the 7.
Design is very creative.
Yes.
So it's very like they make you do these very abstract design. So what was the concept? What you had to do?
It was just a house that we did next to an A house, which is in, I think, Tokyo, as I remember. And yeah, it was in Tokyo. And yeah, we just designed next to it. It was more of for a small family, and it was with Camilo.
Ross?
I don't know.
Bueno, yeah, Camilo. Yeah, Camilo. He's very sweet. I had him for Design 10. He's very
amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Wow, so nice. And so when you came back, how has those trips inspired you to apply that knowledge to your designs, or how do you see yourself, like do you see yourself traveling more in the future? You mentioned that you wanted to work at some point in Europe to have that experience. Why that?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not even Europe, maybe even back in Turkey. I don't know, because I don't really like I came here when I was 14, so all I know is America at this point. I count myself as a Miami person.
Yes.
At this point, but I just want to have a little bit more, I don't know, different perspectives, especially in architecture. Like we were talking about it earlier as well, especially traveling to Japan and to Europe. The way people talk, the firms talk about architecture is a lot more passionate and a lot more in depth than maybe a little bit here, what they would have here.
Yes, no, they are. they really work on design instead of this fast construction that we see in Miami
Yeah.
in the daily like
Mhm.
you walk and you drive and you see like a new building pop,
Every day.
every day. So I understand that feeling that they focus more on like quality and timeliness,
Yeah,
something that perdures through time.
I completely agree.
And you actually, a good things that you have is that you have experience now working on an architectural firm,
Mhm.
Kobe Corp.
Yes.
So how's been that relationship between working and studying? How does that open up um, your perspective on what the real world is, what you need to learn more?
Mhm.
So
It's been really helpful, honestly. Like starting off when you're in your first 3 years, you think that you can just get a job super easy,
yes,
but especially like I guess again our term when we had COVID and we're still in school, we're a little behind on
on
everything.
things, yeah.
So like everyone started talking about, okay, it takes so long to get a job and we keep applying and nobody wants to hire us. So it was very scary. I only applied there because I'm like, okay, they're hiring, let's see. That worked out really good, but I really love it because the people really I meet is amazing. They're very helpful, and especially with comp that we're
With
taking right
comprehensive,
now,
yeah.
it's been really helpful because I'm doing a lot more of like buildings and learn a lot about how the building works as couple floors. And that's been helpful on the school work right now.
And how so what is your daily day at Kobe Corp?
Hmm.
Um and how many days do you go to?
It's usually 2 to 3 days a week.
2 3 days a week,
Yes,
and the rest is school.
school. Yeah.
So what's your typical day
um,
at Kobe Corp? What do you do? What do you
it's
focus on?
usually just morning. We have morning presentations,
Oh,
so
okay,
like talk to
nice.
some people, say hi. I do the models for them, like the
The 3D
3D models.
models, the
Um,
printed or
and the
the
printed.
the printed 3D
Yeah.
models,
So
nice.
I just prepare them and print them nowadays, and that's what I set up in the morning so that it gets going throughout the day. It's checking if everything is
Checking if
working
everything
good.
is working good.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into like a CAD or working in elevations?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
nice,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, right now I'm working with
Which project are you working on from?
uh right now I've been working with Shelby. It's in like I think Miami Beach.
Miami
I
Beach?
think yeah, it's like a couple
Nice,
buildings together, and
nice,
it seems like a big project.
nice. And the 3D printing, you learn that in school. I guess
Hmm.
it's a good skill to have,
Yeah.
and it's very valuable to know how to
Model. Yeah.
model. Yeah, and how do you have your, for example, because I know FIU provides you with 3D printers, but I always
Yes.
found those, like every time that, like last day or last 2 weeks, everyone was, like rushing
Yes.
to Embus to print.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to get my own 3D printer.
Yeah.
And how do you use it? Do you
Mhm.
suggest it to, other people
Yes,
to?
definitely. Like it's been super helpful on getting this stuff done quicker.
Yeah,
I still do like more on laser cutting because
on
I
laser
think
cutting.
the end result just turns out a
Is
little
it
bit
better?
detail.
Detailed,
Yes.
yes.
I mean you can do detail on 3D printing, of course,
Yeah.
but it just seems a little bit better for me. I don't know.
Yes, it also depends on the 3D printer that you
Yeah,
have, I guess.
true.
But so you would say that you're more like a laser cut working with
Yes, by hand.
my hands. That's
Putting it
great because
together.
I say that keeps you the skills of working with your hands
Yes.
better.
Hmm.
And so you have a good from your family.
Hmm.
You have a good inspiration from your brother,
Hmm.
who founded the casa.
Hmm.
So, how has experience with your brother with the casa?
Hmm.
The casa is. Can you talk more about that so people know what the casa
Uh,
does?
it's well, they do mostly the cabinets
Yeah,
of like interior cabinets. It could be outside kitchens. It could be louvers. It could be like anything. I
mm,
guess with wood and anything in the wood of the house. Maybe libraries,
nice.
and we have designers that would work with the clients and put a presentation, put some renders, and and get the projects going. It's been helpful for me. I guess in the past it was more helpful for me when I was with them more. I didn't really know like how the process would work as a business
Yeah.
and as a anything about design neither, because I didn't have the experience beforehand. But working with them was amazing because they did a lot of projects, especially abroad as well, in like Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. And at that time, I was able to travel more, so it was really
Nice.
good, like for me, for traveling portion of it, where I got to see a lot of places. But I met a lot of people, and I was like translator for the projects, and it was
Wow,
really cool. And
nice.
I got to see like how the installations are made and how do you take a dimension. So
Nice,
it was really
nice.
helpful for me back then.
Nice, good. And do you still like help them with
Very
very
small.
very small?
Yes.
Well, that's good. That's good that you had that inspiration, that influence from your brother.
Hmm.
And so, um, how I know that after we graduate from architecture, we have so many plans and we want to do so many things. Like, how do you see yourself once you graduate doing? And if you are also planning to pursue the ARE, like the get the license,
Yes.
what's your opinion on that?
Like, because we have been in school for so long, I feel like I should do it. But it's really, I kind of want to leave it to the universe
To the universe.
and see if it works out. If it works out, we'll see. Yeah, I do want to take the tests and see if I hope to get it. Because I do want to become an architect and call myself an architect.
Yeah.
But I know that it's a long process, so it will be a matter of hopefully studying and passing.
And is FIU, because of when I was at FIU, they teach you a class for
Mhm.
that? Are they also in doing that?
Yes, I think next year on your last
Oh, your
year,
last,
right before
yes, I
you're leaving.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten that, but
Yeah, that's
yes,
good. That,
soon.
that I think that's a scary class for me. For me, it was like a what? So much. So, well, not imagine like 6 exams, like the summary of 6 exams in 4 months,
Yeah.
or like, yeah, semester 4 months. It was like crazy. It was like, oh my god, this is too much. You really have to
Yes.
dedicate your time and
Mhm.
really be focused on that.
Thank you.
If you want to get the license. And so, what would you say to your younger self when you started in architecture? What would you say to yourself, like encouraging?
That's a good one. I think really don't judge yourself too much. Because I think because we're in the design field, we
Hmm.
have the more tendency to be pushy on ourselves,
Hmm.
and you really have the
Yeah, like you have to finish this.
yes, it's not looking good.
It's not
You're not
looking.
doing
And
a good
you look for
job.
perfection.
Yes,
Yeah.
like I think it's really that. Like it doesn't need to be perfect. Sometimes you just need to get it done.
Get it done.
Sometimes it just needs to be okay. You do it up to this point, and you go back and fix it. When you learn more. I think it would be that really. Just don't give up, but don't push too
Don't
much.
push too much on yourself, because and the school is very stressful.
Mhm.
So and you have to keep up. I think it's more about learn how to organize yourself,
Yeah.
and how that more about like focusing or stressing too much about something that at the end is going to need more work.
Yeah.
I know people that after they are done with their project, like 1 month after or 3 months after, they go back to that project and refine it more.
Mhm.
So also in the real life, you realize that even the people with more experience or architectural fields that have been for so long, here they cannot like submit something to
Yeah.
the perfection, but to the best of the standards.
Yeah.
So
And I think there's really no perfect. It's
yeah.
never satisfaction. I I,
Yes.
I think.
Yes. Yeah, no, completely agree with that.
Mm.
So, and what another
Another one,
advice?
learn as many programs as you can
Really?
early on. Not to learn it, but it's
Yes.
like be familiar with
Be
it.
familiar with all of
Because
them, yes.
like even like at work, I realize, I mean, obviously everyone does something different. There's a lot of like a group of people that would do the renders, and group of people would just do the modeling. I don't know. I mean, they are good at it, so they do it. But it's nice to have the experience on knowing how to do it beforehand, so that you know.
And what is the best program that you like to use?
I mean, it's been Rhino. I
Right now, yeah,
guess.
me
Yeah.
too.
Right now we're working a lot with Revit, which is good.
No, Revit is amazing. Like every office uses Revit, and that's something that where I work, we only use CAD, and
Well,
yeah, we only use AutoCAD, and I'm always like, okay, when I'm gonna be able to learn really fully Revit, and that's something you now also need to be honest when you do interviews,
yes.
and okay, I only know like these programs, and Revit maybe I need more training with, but everyone uses Revit, so I was like, like maybe I have to start using it by
Yes. On
by
the
my
side.
own. See, is there another project? Well, is there something that you like to do when it comes to designing? Like, is this like the first part of design development, or
Mhm.
construction documents, or that brainstorming, of
I
the
think that.
that one, that
Yes.
part?
I mean, I had the chance to work the same person, Jag,
Okay, wow, okay.
for 3 projects now, and it's been like we both realized that talking with someone,
Hmm.
even if it's not super productive, it's just talking about the project really makes you excited for the project, and you get to think about little
The
details
little
about it,
details.
and I think it's really just talking. I mean, it could be just be talking to yourself as well, or like sketching it and talking and talking, and I think
No,
it's just
good,
that.
good. And what inspires you? Where do you look inspiration for your project, or how do you like to, when you're not at, well, no, I would say like yes. How do you look for inspiration when you in a design?
Yeah, I think it's for us, it's been like really given stuff, like
Mm.
not given stuff, but like the program is given and the location is given. So it's just more on thinking to environment, and really thinking about the site and who would live there, and putting yourself in that shoes. I think it's just like really thinking about the nature, thinking about the
Understanding the
yeah, yeah,
surroundings.
yeah. I think that would be the inspirational portion of it. But yeah, I don't have a specific thing that I would go to, unfortunately. I would
And
like to find one.
well, I think that there is a lot of inspiration, like
Yes.
out there. So when it comes, and if you see something, you adapt it to your project. And what then? I have a couple of questions here
Okay.
for you, and so quick, fast questions.
Okay.
No,
I'm scary.
no, no,
Okay.
no, not that fast, but what's your favorite Turkish dish?
Ooh, Iskender.
Kendash. This
uh,
is not very, like we're getting to architecture and not
yes.
architecture. Kendash, what is that?
It's pieces of bread cut into like little, I guess pieces, and meat, slice of meat, with some yogurt on the side and
Mm.
some tomato, I guess paste
Wow.
sauce on top.
Okay, good.
So it just feels like
Where,
very
where can
filling.
we find that here?
There's a couple restaurants. Yeah, I mean there is El Turco, which is
Oh.
in Upper Buena Vista.
Oh, okay, okay.
There
Buenavista.
is Doya. Doya is really good as well. I mean, there's a couple of them. There's,
Good,
they're
good,
all good.
good, good, good. If you could live in any city in the world, where will it be?
I think for the future in the next like couple years, I
Where?
do want
Where's
to
that?
go back to Turkey for a
Oh,
little bit.
well, no, that's
Yes,
yes, that's so you're
and
originally from
Istanbul. I do want to go
Istanbul.
back to
Okay,
Istanbul.
okay.
I guess that's
You
the city.
want to go?
Yes.
Nice.
Um,
What do you like more about Istanbul, about the architecture there?
I think there's so much history. I do want to like. I haven't had the chance to explore as a
Hmm.
tourist because I came when I was too
Yeah,
little.
14.
But I do want to go back, like hopefully for a graduation trip.
Nice.
Because I think there's a lot of history. There's a lot of even languages. There's a lot of just architecture and creative people. I think it'll be amazing to just try for a
Just
couple
try for
months.
a couple of months, and
Yeah.
yes, and the architecture there is so different from
Yes.
here. Like you say, is an ancient city.
Yeah.
So good, good. Are you a morning or a night person?
I think I'm more night person.
A night person,
especially with architecture.
Yes, with architecture, we have to like pull it up to 3 p.m. 3 a.m.
Of course, like
Sí.
especially going to work and having classes.
Yes.
You know, you end up sleeping almost in the morning.
In the morning, yeah, that's
And
true.
which
But
is fine.
once you graduate, you know, you'll be maybe
Hopefully.
a more morning person. Even though we started like at 6, 6, no 7, 7 no 7 a.m. now.
Yeah, I guess
The
that's
podcast.
true.
What word that best describe your journey so far?
Interesting.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
it's not a word interesting, no?
I think my word is
It's
interesting.
interesting?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I chose this one.
Okay, good. Why interesting?
I really had no expectation. I don't know what, but I don't know. I mean, the people that I met has been amazing and really interesting. I don't know. I've been so excited to just meet people and like you. I mean,
And just live
like
yes.
day
Day by
day, I guess. Yeah. Like
See.
I think it's been really helpful. Like even working with my family, like that's how I met you through Cindy and like meeting people and just I don't know,
just have experiences,
yeah,
because
and it's
I
been
think
surprises.
surprises, yes, I think that's the best, one of the best, like ways to see life,
Yeah.
because we're living in such, like convoluted world, that if you start thinking about all the things that happen outside, you kind of like get a little depressed, but
Yeah, true.
but I think, like you say, like living day by day, be open to new experiences, like your trip to Japan, those 2 weeks you had backpacking. I think that's the best way to enjoy enjoy life. Do you have any book you recommend?
Oof. I
Favorite?
haven't been reading books, which is really bad. But honestly, with architecture, it's been really hard to get back to the
That's fine.
groove.
Or a movie that maybe you liked really.
No, like I was telling you, it's been always like working and
Working.
and I know it's not good, and I
No, but
have a lot
I
of
mean-
complaints about it.
Why?
I mean, I like it, but like my friends are like, okay, maybe it's time for us to take a little minute and
Unwind, just
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
So you're more like a hardworking, like
I wouldn't call myself hardworking, but I do like to work. Like I do want to not spend my time. I mean, I like to do things, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
just waste it.
I
guess.
understand. Like if you have free time, you will be investing that time in something that is more productive.
Yes, I guess.
Yes. And how do you, like, for example, when you're too stressed with school, or a moment that you want to take for yourself, like what would you usually do?
I write in YouTube relaxing music, put my headphones, and I sit outside.
I listen to ASMR.
That's
Which these microphones will be, it's really good.
Yes.
To do ASMR. But yeah, that's the way I do. Like kind of like relax after when I sleep. I put some relaxing music. That's nice. That's good. So, and what is in what you have seen your experience with architecture so far, and what you like? What's one of the architectural trends you hope you can bring back, or that never, like is timeless, that it perdures?
I know this is not gonna sound like everyone is gonna like this, but like the model that you saw with the concrete.
Yes.
I don't really love, obviously, the concrete.
Yeah.
Like the concrete that we see here.
Yeah.
It's not that, but it's more like some concrete work, like digging a hole, pouring a concrete, and having this like cool shape. I don't know. It just seems so interesting.
Like experimenting with concrete.
Yes.
Because, well, concrete is very like flexible in the shapes that you can also get from it. So it would be working more with experimental concrete.
Yeah, I think so. I think like the project that we did for Japan year again. We were given a project. It's a restaurant and a house in Japan again, by Junior Shimagami, and it was just a place where they dig a hole and pour concrete, and they ended up creating these custom unique shapes for the glasses, for the entrances. It's just so interesting, like out of the place.
Yeah, and you say it's controversial because of the
Because of its concrete
environmental
Yes.
impact. But yeah, I think it has. I have. I know that there is a focus of how make concrete,
Mm-hmm.
more environmental friendly, like being able to grow, for example, like plants
Mm-hmm.
from concrete. So I think we like we can use concrete, but in a more we have to think on ways that
Yes,
is less impactful for
I agree.
the planet.
And less boring, I
Less
think,
boring,
as well.
yes. Yeah, exactly, yes. I like that. Less boring. Um so if you were not if architecture if you were not to study architecture, what you would be doing if it's not architecture?
We always talk about this with my friends, and none of us have any other plans. It's like, yeah, if this didn't work out, I really don't know what I would
What you
do.
would do?
Yeah, I don't think I had any other
Interest
plan. Like,
plan.
it was really just, okay, I have to study architecture. It's just has to happen
It was
sometime.
it was the first
Yeah,
the first moment.
and yeah, it's been
You didn't
amazing.
change from because a lot of people, like they're unsure what they want to do. They change from one thing to another. So you were
No.
really sure of what you
Yes,
want,
this
and
is
has
this is
been
what I
great,
want.
right?
Yeah, no, it's been amazing.
Nice.
No, I'm happy.
Do you have any hobbies?
I want to, but I don't.
I know you gave me a really beautiful pottery.
It's not the
Yes.
greatest. I'm trying. But I mean, I just did it once, and I really want to get into it. But it's, I guess, gonna happen after graduation.
No, yes, of course.
That's
When
what I'm looking forward to.
yes. No, and you will find out that you will have more time probably to do things that you didn't do before,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what happened to me. That I find more time, like to add more like things, hobbies, and for example, this same thing with the podcast, which is a great idea to interview students and give them a voice. So that's a great opportunity um, that I have had, and that the Architectural Authority podcast is also given to all of you. Another question. Okay, well, if you could take a gap year anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Ooh, I think I really want to go back to Switzerland.
Oh, I love
I
Switzerland.
think that was amazing of an
Yes.
experience.
I will live in a mountain.
Yes, like, just put me there.
Yes, with cows and chickens.
That would be an amazing experience. Like,
Nice.
the people seem nice. It was so quiet and so like peaceful.
Yes, it is. It
Yeah,
is.
it was just an amazing and it's also super different than what we do here on construction side of it too. It's really different.
Yeah, the houses. I see like there are
Yeah, a lot of pointy.
a lot of super pointy, and they use also more metals
Mm-hmm.
too. And yeah, I went to Appenzell, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Like I went to this museum, the Kongsken Museum in Appenzell. That is beautiful. So yeah, I will have like one day describing how fun it was. Where do you go to?
We only had a day, so it was more
it
on
was
climbing the Alps.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
the Alps.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which was
nice.
good, which was awful.
Nice.
We all got sick, but it was good.
Really? What happened?
Well, it was cold, and we weren't really thinking that we were gonna do it, because it was someone's day, that they planned.
Yes.
They didn't really tell us that we were climbing the Alps.
Oh my gosh.
We thought we were just gonna take a cable cart.
A cable car,
But
yeah.
the cable cart didn't work, and she just didn't tell us. So, which was fine. It was
Yes,
amazing.
yes,
It
yes.
worked out amazingly.
But well, the
Yeah.
hikes are always fun.
It was amazing.
like-
Yeah.
And you're taking also thesis
Yes.
right now. So what with Andia?
Yes, Alfredo Andia.
So how is that going?
It's going good. I think for the first time in his teaching, as I understand, he's not giving anything to us. So
it's an open concept.
it's an open concept completely. No size, no concept. There's nothing.
Just the location?
Not even the
Not
location.
even the location.
Whatever you
Okay,
want,
whatever.
however
Oh,
big you
wow.
want. So it's really up to us.
I always find like too much freedom is
Scary.
It's scary.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you, in this case that you have so much freedom to design, how do you like not enclosed, but how do you program yourself to be more concrete with what you want to do?
No, it's been really hard to come up with even something, because your mind just goes everywhere.
It goes everywhere. Yes.
Basically. But I guess like we sat down with a couple of my friends and we ended up like writing a little calendar. Okay, we do need to do this by this time,
By
and
this time,
this we need to do the research on this. And it's really been just programming yourself. And
But I know
getting
Andia is
crazy.
very experimental.
Yes,
So it's more about experimenting with
anything. I mean, he really does not care because we had him for Japan too,
Mm.
and for Japan he he likes what he likes, which is
Yeah.
amazing, and he would tell you, okay, this is what I like, and maybe go for towards it. But this time he's completely free. He doesn't give anything, nothing. So he's not even like experimental at this
Yes,
point.
it's just
It's empty.
empty. Yeah.
So you really need to come up with something and hope that it's good.
Yeah.
But I ended up doing and choosing to do a school. I think I'm going more towards a school or more towards like emergency shell. How do you say?
Emergency. Yeah, emergency. Yeah, an
Like
emergency building.
yes, building, I guess.
Yeah.
For earthquakes and for any kind of natural disasters.
Because you were very like not inspired, but
Yeah.
the earthquake in Turkey that happened.
Yes, there is an earthquake happened like a couple years ago,
Years ago, yeah.
and I had a couple friends that were there as well, that like live there, and from their experience, like obviously they lost their houses and some lost their families, and everybody ended up moving to different places. And right now, even like I look at Google Earth to get something for my project, there really is no buildings anymore. Like it's just completely destroyed.
Wow.
So I think it would be interesting thing for me to do, but I still have a semester to figure out what I'm exactly doing.
That's good. I think there's a good connection between like creating a building that will help and favor those people that are impacted by those type of natural disasters, and and maybe you go back to Turkey and work there.
Maybe only for a little bit.
You don't want to stay too much.
No.
Just maybe in the Alps. Maybe we stay in the Alps.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
So what's the strangest inspiration you have maybe ever used for a design?
What did we do? I feel like we took I cannot think of anything. I cannot think of anything. I don't know. I think it's mostly just doing like
or the most strange design that you have done,
strangest
or like
I think it's the same project again.
The same project that you submitted for competition, like turning that arch into.
Because it was again very controversial. Because it was like, okay, digging a hole in the mountains and building a house, which is yes, I agree, it's not a good thing to do, but it was very experimental because like Jack did a lot of work on Grasshopper, and he really tried to understand how this works and how it floats, and how do you do anything with it. I think on that portion of it was very different than what we have been doing in school
before. Yeah.
Because in school they do want us to be creative, but not too creative as well, maybe sometimes, because you also have limited time, so you can't just run around and to get lost. I guess
you really want to focus on
the goal, I guess.
On the goals and the givens that the professor gives you to. And so in your whole experience at FIU, what's one thing that you wish it could be better? And
I think we all say the same thing. It's we really wish that we were taught a little bit more on how a building works beforehand, like before we get to the last year. Because if you're not working in the firm or in any place of design, you really have no experience on how things work. Yeah. But I think they are meant to do it, but they just kind of sometimes
we have to talk with Henry. Henry, please. We need to change here in the program.
I think especially in our year 2, we have been, because we were the COVID kids, we have been a little bit more
the COVID kids.
Yeah, we call ourselves the COVID kids.
That's funny.
Yes, because we have been a little bit more, I guess, laid back as well, and it could be it's kind of affecting us in the long run.
But yeah, so So you wish that there's more, they incorporate more in the program on FIU about the building, more about the real life, how the
Yes.
building is gets done
Mm-hmm.
with the MEP and the
Right. The
electricity,
lighting,
all that
HVAC, yeah,
HVAC,
everything.
yes. Because yeah, like you finish school and then you're like starting from zero again.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So if you don't have any prior experience, it's kind of like hard.
No, it is.
And you
It's
also
scary.
mentioned that you wish to that in high school or when you came to this country that they will show you better, you know, like where to go
Mm-hmm.
when if you feel like architecture or something about design is
Mm-hmm.
your future. You wish that there were more programs or there were more people like willing to teach you that.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah. Like especially coming and not knowing anything
yeah.
about how things work. It was just whatever the school has available,
Mm.
which is great. I mean, some of the schools have a lot of like technical design classes available for you to learn, but obviously there's a lot of schools that do fully architecture, and
Mm.
you do
Like
go,
Dash.
yeah, like Dash, or I think even New World has a program for architecture. I think, I don't know, but that's an amazing thing for starting off.
When you're coming from from
Yes,
a place where you know like
you had
where
no
you
idea.
don't have no idea
Yeah.
where what to do.
Yes. But I think, well, I was telling you before too, right now I'm working with the kids, and the
Yes.
person that I'm working with, she's trying to implement these classes into the Miami-Dade like county,
Nice.
classes.
Nice. Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a process of like, them figuring it out, of
Yeah,
course,
it's going to
but it
be a
would be
slowly
amazing.
process, but is starting, and
Hmm.
you're part of that, which is amazing that you're teaching, you know,
Yeah.
like younger kids how to use CAD, right?
No, it's more like how
Or
to do models.
to do models.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. That's great.
So it's more like 5 years to
Yeah,
9 years, and them just designing a house and just, making a little
nice,
model of it.
nice.
They're very little to understand what's going on,
No,
but
but it's the
they
start,
get the
you know. It's
experience.
what they work on it, they see it, and they are like, okay, I really like that. Or if
Mm-hmm.
maybe they will remember, oh, I remember I took a class with
Yes.
Gem, you know, I really like it. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're creating an impact in the very.
Hopefully.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Jem,
you.
for being here. I appreciate you and I appreciate the journey that you have had. And I wish you the best
Thank
of
you.
success in the future and in your master's thesis.
Yes.
So you're graduating next year.
Yes. So soon.
Thank you so much for being here,
Thank
and thank
you.
you so much for listening to this wonderful story. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Framing the Future podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, stay creative.